And welcome in everybody to Belly Up Fantasy Live here on the Belly Up Sports Network. It is a pleasure to have you all join us here. It is officially draft night with the Belly Up Sports Network. We have a full team, 12 representatives from across the company in this draft with bragging rights on the line, as well as a nice fancy trophy for the winner. You're going to see a variety of us pop in throughout the draft and watch it go live. You'll even see the randomized order to see who gets to pick first. But of course, before we get into that, I want to mention Belly Up Fantasy Gaming Live is presented by Trophy Smack. It is bragging rights in physical form. They have a wide variety of different trophies, rings, belts, everything you need for epic fantasy, customizable fantasy awards, a wide range, as we mentioned, everything. You might have seen them on Shark Tank at one point, custom fantasy football trophies, belts, rings, and a whole lot more. Go ahead and check them out in the description below, once again, presented by Trophy Smack. And it is not just me today. I am joined by my usual cohorts with Belly Up Fantasy Live. We got Kevin Wilson, senior Belly Up writer. We got Brian Germanaro, host of the 3rd and 10 podcast as well, joining me here, and my co-host from High Low Sports, Kelcey. So we got a full house today. And you guys ready for this fantasy draft? That all the competitive bragging rights are on the line and hardware.
It's my first one of the year. I can't wait.
Yeah, let's do this. We're drafting a little early, but I'm ready for it.
Look, I got my kicker stuff ready. You already know.
Well, don't worry, guys. You don't know where you're picking us, so you don't know where you're taking your kicker. And we're all going to learn that together. We're going to spend it. We're going to figure out where we're going today. So you guys ready? Who wants to pick number one? Does anyone want to dibs it first before it gets randomized?
No.
Okay, well,
let's see. Pick 7.
You're going to get pick 6 now just because of that. Let's randomize and see where it goes. Well, Kelcey, can I interest you in pick number 2? As you will be taking pick number 2, we'll see I will be picking at pick number 8. And as we scroll, Kevin, you got pick number 6, and Brian, you got pick number 2, 4, 6, 8. You got to be kidding me. Who do we appreciate? So that's how we are going to spread this out. So you know what? All of our picks going to be relatively close by. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this thing and let's go ahead and get started. I think it's time we get underway. And Kelcey, I hope you're ready because you're going to be up here before you know it. Now, I want to start with you, Kelcey, since you are on the clock. As of right now, you're on the clock. Where are we looking? Go ahead and lead the way. You're in charge now.
Yeah, look, I think the top 3 picks in this draft are unanimous. If you go anywhere else, it's kind of crazy. And given that nature, I'm just going to stick with the flow and go Bijan there as the second guy off the board. Just it's really, for me, it's the top 2 guys. I'm taking Jahmyr. I'm taking Bijan. Those are the top 2.
It is a year where it feels like you can't go wrong with either one. Normally, there's like a clear RB1, then a guy that people try to talk you into for RB2, and then you go into that situation. But in this case, it's clearly 1A or 1B, depending on your preference or your schedule liking as well. Yeah. Brian, I'm going to jump to you on this one. How do we feel with the 2 running backs? Would you have gone Jahmyr 1 or Bijan 1 if you were at 1?
I would have gone Jahmyr 1. I think his upside is higher than Bijan. But like you said, you can't go wrong with either one of these guys.
Absolutely.
I would have went with Jahmyr as well, just because I think he's on a better team. That wins the day for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if I have the first overall, I'm definitely with you guys in this. Like it's been in a couple drafts this season already that I'm like, 2 or 3, and somebody decides to go Jahmyr at number 2 or Bijan at number 1 and Jamar at number 2, and then I'm stuck with Jahmyr at number 3. I'm like, this is the greatest day of my life.
That's right.
Because this is that's just how you feel about him. You're just excited to have him there.
And if you're gonna be late to the draft as the co-owner of the company and miss out, at least you're at pick number 3, so you can stumble backwards into Jamar Chase. So I guess right. Brian, you're on the clock. The top 3 are gone, and Puka is biting people. So is that where you go, or do you lean elsewhere?
I'm leaning elsewhere. The Puka stuff scares me. I don't know where his head is at right now. I'm torn between. I think I'm gonna go with the offensive player of the year, Jacksonville and Jigba. Just coming off a great season last year at Seattle. I'm just going to roll with that. I know he's going to do as well, but he's going to be a center point of this team as well.
Well, according to the NFL, that's the defensive player of the year, according to their hardware.
That's right.
All right.
Biggest goof ups that's ever happened.
This is why you get Trophy Smack to get your presentation of your trophy. You get it right the first time.
Yeah, come on, NFL. What are you doing?
Exactly. You know what? Maybe they know who to call at this point. But as we now see the top 4 underway, corner Booth Jared is on there. By the way, we didn't make a graphic if I forgot, but the number is set at 3.5 Eagles. Will he go over or under? Real quickly, guys, what do you call over, under? 3? Over.
I'm going to go under because I'm going to make it so he goes under.
You're going to draft the Eagles? No, that's what it's going to be.
I'm winning this trophy, and I'm going to rub it in, because I'm going to have a kicker on one side and putting an Eagles logo on the other side, because those are the 2 things that will carry me to a championship.
There's
I try to keep my fandom out of fantasy football, but when it comes to the Eagles, I can't. I can't in good conscience root for anyone on that team.
Yeah, that's fair.
I want it to be noticed he will be going with Puka Nacua as he is late to the draft as well.
Yeah, the only problem when you're in the middle of the draft and you're the one that has to one of the ones that just have to decide where you're going to take McCaffrey or not. Mm-hmm. And so I'm thinking if you're going to err, you might as well err with one of the best players on the board. So I'm just going to go ahead and solve everybody's problem right here, and I'm going to go ahead and take McCaffrey right here.
If he is able to play 15 games this season, you're about to have RB1 or 2, basically, guaranteed. The only question is that substation is going to get a hold of him. But at this spot, it's kind of worth it at this point because you're not going to have to wait so long for your next pick. As you know, Jonathan Taylor was off the board next, and now I'm on the clock. And you know what? This kind of worked out perfectly because if the one guy that I made this joke earlier, I'm going to do it again. We're going to take Ashton Genty one more time. I am a believer that in this new offense.
Didn't you do that last year too?
That was a pick number 2 with the catastrophe. This year it's going to be different. I believe he's got in the new offense. He's going to get the rock, and he's going to get the rock a lot. And I think he's going to get in the end zone more. He's going to catch more passes. And he was still RB13 last year in that catastrophe with more yards after contact than total yards. We're risking it for the biscuit here, and I feel better about it at this pick. And you know what? We got our first Eagle off the board. Is Belly Up Kev, a noted Alabama fan, taking a Penn State running back.
I'm sorry, Kev. I was going to be the one that did that in the next round when Jared decides to skip him, but I guess Kev's going to beat me to it.
Hey, you know what? And what's funny is he was going to be the auto pick, but he had to make sure he got one Eagle. And we see CD and Justin Jefferson on the swing at noted Eagle fan Antonio from Sideline Summit.
Can't argue with that.
Yeah, not at all. Devon Achane and James Cook. You know what? Maybe I might have screwed up taking Genty a little early. I say that now until he ends up as RB6. But, you know, I do got to know from Belly Up Kev, who is on vacation right now making time for this draft. He made that pick from the Rise of the Resistance ride in Disneyland.
Okay.
All
right.
So cool.
And the Trey McBride pick. So, you know, he is showing up for the team right now. So
okay.
Shout out to he's going to be the auto draft pick team the rest of the way. So we'll have to see if we can beat him for that. But you know what? He came out with a strong start and taking a tight end early to spite a lot of us down the road. So
that's a little early for me, but you do what you got to do.
Absolutely. And we do see back-to-back Browns for Hector Flores, last year's reigning champion, going as well. So now I guess I'm back on the board again. And you guys made fun of me for my last pick, so you're probably going to make fun of me again no matter what I do. I'm kind of nervous now. You guys were laughing at me earlier, so you know what?
Is that the point of a live draft?
I think I know where you're going in this round, but I'm gonna see if you do it.
I'm gonna tell you it's not what you think because this is an idea I haven't done before.
Okay.
Oh wait, I'm not even up yet, am I?
Yeah, you are.
All right, so we're lagging on one device is lagging, the other one is not. We're gonna take Josh. I'm gonna have an advantage at quarterback. I'm gonna have an advantage.
That's way too early.
No, just wait. I got a plan. Just wait. I got a plan. What I have is I have a nuke at quarterback that very few others can match on a week-to-week basis.
Well, those that flew a plane into a mountain probably had a plan too. So we'll see how that works out.
They had a bad plan. I have a good plan. It's banking on the guy who's been a top 2 quarterback in the last half decade consecutively. And
that's fair, but
I look at it this way. Like, okay, your next option is going to be what, 14 picks away. Is that worth waiting that long to potentially get a 3rd or 4th quarterback on the board when you can have Josh Allen? I don't hate it. I don't love it, but I get where you're going with it. I just honestly, I couldn't think of a better position other than maybe like I thought you were going to go second tight end off the board. But
since Derrick Henry's off the board already, I like Hampton. I like them coming into this year. They're going to get their act together, the Chargers, as far as their offensive line is concerned. So I'm going to go there.
I like that pick a lot. Marion Hampton was among like the 4 guys I was panicked trying to choose between him and a few others as well before I stumbled into Josh Allen. So I can't hate on the pick. I think he's going to be electric. Mike McDaniel's great for running backs. We talk about what he's going to do for Herbert. He's been great for running backs. He let 80-year-old Raheem Mostert lead the NFL in touchdowns. So
That's right.
So as we do have Jared back on the board, we'll see if he makes the pick this time or if the Eagles over-under is good. The under might be in jeopardy. Kelcey might be winning the over-under because he's slagging behind.
Will he swallow and take Brown anyway? No.
Nope. All right, we got
Kenneth Walker. I'm not big on. I love Walker. Seattle Seahawks, of course, MVP. I just worry that Kansas City is going to wear him out.
You know, that'll be very interesting. There's Brock. Is that the one you're thinking, Kelcey? Where you think I was going to take Brock Bowers?
I honestly, yeah. If you hadn't taken Genty, I would have definitely expected Bowers. But obviously, the double up run Raiders would have been a little crazy to see in the first 2 rounds.
Absolutely. And you know, that's a great pick by Brian because both Kelcey and I like Brock Bowers. And I think that's who Kelcey was thinking about for his pick as he is now up.
Yeah, I mean, if Jeremiah Love wasn't banged up, I probably would have gone him at that spot. But that ankle scares me. And even if he comes back, to really expect the Cardinals to, give 20 plus snaps to a guy coming off an injury who they feel is going to be like a future of their franchise. It just kind of want to stay away from him right now.
Oh, I hate everything about this pick.
Ooh, how does that feel? Like, tell me what's going on through your soul right now. You did it last year.
I don't like it. But because I already have Bijan, I'm not going to double up on the Falcons right there, because if we all remember Drake London going down to the PCL last year in week 11, destroyed his fantasy rankings. He finishes wide receiver 22. Like, absolutely destroyed where you're going to pick him. George Pickens at least has a lot of faith. I have a lot of faith he's going to keep getting fed because CD's going to be healthy this year. So, yeah, I don't love it, though. I just, like, it was between him and Drake London, and I can't make myself pick Drake London right here.
I am the president of the Drake London fan club, so I will digress. But you can't really go wrong getting Pickens at 211 either, especially when he is the
Don't be expecting the same season as he had a year ago.
I'm good. I got my kicker to cover me. We're good.
Hey, if you get 80% of what you got from George Pickens last year, that's still a pretty darn good.
That is, no question.
Nico Collins, arguably a top 10 receiver in the NFL. The downside is the ball just doesn't come to him nearly enough. But when it does, it's in spurts when he doesn't have that injury. So this is a very good spot considering he was a first-round pick in a lot of drafts last year. Now you're getting him on the swing, so I think that's a very good spot for Nico and Kyron Williams. Death, taxes, and Kyron.
I do like that.
Come on.
Right,
Matt, what are you doing? Between Blaine and Matt right now, I'm getting screwed on both sides. This is not fun for me at all. I am not having a good time with this, guys.
One pick you can make right now that nobody would.
That's right. You can square things up right here.
I could, and I could also set myself as a failure if the Falcons decide to go with Tua as their starting quarterback, and then I'm screwed because I have
might be a problem no matter what they decide.
So I'm gonna pull a DJ here, and I don't like it, but I'm gonna do it because I'm gonna risk it on this opportunity because I won't see him on the round back, and that's just it. I will never see him again if I don't take him now.
It is funny because I was the component of wait to draft your quarterback. And then, of course, I broke that immediately, and you did as well. Because I think there's a lot of value down the board. But when you get those two guys, you feel like you would have an advantage every single week.
Look, this is a stretch I don't like for the draft. I don't like this second round, a third round in the first half of it. First half of the third round, second half of the second round. Because it just feels like everybody here is reliant on somebody who is an unreliable quarterback or an unreliable offensive line or an unreliable something or another along the way that I'm just like, outside of AJ Brown, outside of Kyron, outside of Pickens, Lamar, everything else there, legal troubles, health issues, or bad players that are around them. I just can't pick one of them to be comfortable with.
Well, Brian, your guy Malik Neighbors went rough right before you.
Would you have taken him there, Brian?
It was definitely a big consideration, but I need a running back. I'll gamble with Love at this spot.
Oh, I don't like that at all.
I'm just saying, he looks like we got our first Eagle off the board for Jared. So we got one down where we need 2.5 more.
I should have pulled the trigger on Devontae.
I think he's in for if his hamstring doesn't end up being an issue, the hamstrings across that Eagles receiver room worry me, but I think he's in for a huge season. I will say with Germanaro Love, if he gets on the field, he looks so damn good. Even they gave him way too many carries for a preseason game, but he looked like a new age Adrian Peterson out there when he was running. I think he's going to be dynamic
if he's
not
healthy, injured though. Yeah, like if he
let's see. Healthy, I've got a wide receiver. There are several here to pick from, and there are issues with all three of these guys. I love Olave, but the injury that we just learned about today causes me some concern there. And Rice, I guess I'm going to have to just suck it up and go with Drake London. I'd rather not, but
I was hoping you wouldn't. I was hoping you'd fall right into my hands. I was all in on it.
As much as I was protesting the Drake London early in this round, honestly, you in the middle of the round of round 3 getting Drake London feels like a good option.
Yeah, because there's not a downside at this point in the draft when it comes to him.
Yeah, this is probably a better option than a lot of if I would have taken him in round 2, everybody's looking at me like, well, you're really relying on that Falcons offense, right? And that's going to be bad luck for me. But in where you had him, I like that a lot.
I think he has a chance to be a receiver 1, whether it is Tua or Penix. Because when Penix is out there, he averages 108 yards a game. When Tua is out there, his receiver 1 historically has had 32% target share. So there's a path. And then Dylan Gabriel is eventually going to be quarterback there when Kevin Stefanski trades for the trifecta of lefty quarterbacks. It's going to happen. I think there is a path for him to get there, but I do, compared to the other guys where the quarterback is solidified, you feel a lot more comfortable with those guys like George Pickens. Dak's going to rip it to him. Jahmyr, Hispanic setters.
Come on,
Josh
Nate, what are you
Jacobs
doing?
is off the
There's
board.
illegal
And,
doubles.
yeah, that's
Not big on that pick at all.
You know, I'm really uncomfortable with this pick as well because I know I'm coming back soon, but I know somebody's going to spite me. Rashee Rice is probably the best one on the board, but I simply refuse because he has played 20 games in 3 years. I can't.
That's right. That's a problem. That's a huge problem.
I do have a rule against taking somebody who's been to jail in the last 90 days.
Especially if he's gone to jail in my own city.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a problem.
Like there's just a few rules that I can't quite go with. So we're going to reach just a little bit here. This is going to be a little bit of a reach, but I'm going to do it anyway. I feel good about it. We're going to take Chris Olave. I do worry.
I love him.
It's a good.
When he's healthy.
Be healthy.
And with Jordan Tyson missing some time, I think
that's a problem.
I think that's going to lead to Olave getting a little bit of force feeding too.
I just talked about him last week, and he's injured 1 week later.
Don't talk about anybody on my team. Like you leave my team.
Roger that.
Yeah,
I'm going to stop taking Kevin's advice because of that, because I did draft Jordan Tyson in between our last conversation and this week, and Jordan Tyson is now injured. So, Kevin, if you're going to take the blame for it, I will let you take the blame for it. Sir.
I'll take every blame I can get on that one because I really thought he was going to have a great season.
I'm not going to lie, too. Ladd McConkey was the one I was debating with Chris Olave over. I think that's a really good pick. Everyone says
I would definitely take him.
Everyone thinks he's a short slot white receiver, but he is literally Chris Olave just with lighter pigmentation. He is fast. He's athletic. He can run. He's about 6 feet tall. He's going to be a true number one. He's going to run across the field a lot in this offense. I think it's going to be.
I'm really excited to see this Chargers offense with McDaniels at the helm. Like we saw what he did with Miami with Tua, and I'm sure he had Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, but Chargers got some decent talent there. So I'm excited to see. I think Chargers could be top 10 offense.
Absolutely, I think there's a lot to like there.
My only worry with that,
as long as their offensive line is good.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. That health on that offensive line. Can they stay healthy, and then we're good?
I'm going to raise you one. The health of literally everybody, because that team is snake bitten. They have a built-in substation that you just can't see, but they always seem to find injury. Tyler Biadasz, the center's already got carted off today, and Quentin Johnson got hurt today as well.
Three players in a practice with San Francisco get injured.
So is this a substation is now growing in power and affecting other teams as well? It's not just the 49ers.
No, it's literally just attaching itself to the 49ers players and then going to wherever they practice at, which is a practice in LA.
Exactly.
A joint practice in LA. And that's the crazy thing. It's like, how are you having a joint practice with the Niners and your players are getting injured now? This is insane.
It's contagious. It's like it's COVID, but it's COVID substation 19. As we do see Rashee Rice, ETN, and Jalen Hurts off the board. So we got 3 quarterbacks down. We're running out of Eagles for Jared. He might not get that over.
I was going to say,
we're going to see Eli Stowers come off the boards really early if we're going to get
I like that auto pick. I really like that one.
I do like Javonte there. That's a really good pick. And a Puka with Rice, like you could have swapped those ones out. I liked it better just due to my no jail rule. But that's if Rice does play, the pace he puts on in those games he does play is outstanding. So you could have 2 receiver 1 caliber guys and 2 running back 1 caliber guys. So that's a very strong start for Belly Up Mike, as well as I'm curious to see what Hector does. As the reigning champ, does he continue on the receiver, running back? Does he pivot? He goes, all right, well, he threw off my entire draft strategy because he took Colston Loveland, so I will not hesitate. We are taking Tyler Warren here because
there you go.
That's the guy I had my finger on because he's the one I wrote about, first of all.
I think he has a strong chance to be tight end 1 in that offense.
I do too. There's
the 2 tight ends at the top, Bowers and McBride. There's a little bit of a drop-off. There's Warren, Loveland, and another guy I will not name right now because we have other picks coming up. Then there's another drop-off before you get to some of the rest of the guys. So I think it's a little reach for me. I didn't want to do this here, but after Loveland went, I wasn't going to risk it. I was not going to risk losing my guy.
Yeah.
No, tight ends are one of those things, man. I love to draft if it's the top 4 guys. I'm fine with drafting them in the first 4 rounds. After that, I'm like, I'll wait.
Exactly.
Point total wise, they're just not worth it after the top 4 guys, at least right now. I mean, we've seen a guy go off from undrafted to top 6 tight end every year for the last 6.
Travis Kelcey was quote unquote bad last year. That's a great pick by Nate with Zay Flowers. Travis Kelce was quote unquote bad, was still a top 5 tight end. And the drop off is just so massive. As Kevin, you are on the clock.
I'm on the clock. And so this is getting to the point where there are players that you just don't know at this point if they're going to be worth the pick right here. But you know what? I see quarterbacks going off the board rather early, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take Drake May.
Ooh, okay.
Here. He was my MVP a year ago in the other league I'm in. He helped me win the championship. So I'm just going to go ahead and go there.
I can't really. Me and Kelcey already took quarterback, so we support the quarterback renaissance in this league. There are no special rules for quarterbacks for those tuning in. There's no super flex or anything like that. The points are still the same. You get bonus points for big pass plays. Same with big rushes, big receptions, like 40+ yards. You get an extra point. Is Joe Burrow off the board? So all right, Brian, you might have to take a quarterback here. The way things are going, you might have to take.
No, I'm going to sit and wait on quarterback for a little bit. A lot of quarterbacks later in this draft. It's always been my strategy.
There really are.
I'm torn between two here. I'm going to go with my gut on this one. I don't know why. I love the Panthers offense this year, and I think McMillan's going to have a big year this year. I think Young can do just enough. I'm rolling with McMillan.
Well, I'm surprised you passed on your man Scatterboo right there.
Yeah, I was looking at it. There are solid running backs at the turn, not so much receiver. So go receiver and then bank on one of the running backs being there. But Scotty was definitely top of my list.
Tetero's been working inside a lot in practice from the reports have been. So I think he's going to end up like Bryce Young throws for 200 yards a game. Ted's going to get probably like 95 of those all day.
Yeah, he's just going to get fed that ball. So that's what I love.
Absolutely. DeAndre Swift going off the board next. So Kelcey, you are
not feeling that at all.
I've never held my breath longer for 2 picks in my life. So I've been waiting for this guy to fall my way for I don't know how long, but T. Higgins, round 4.
I was debating Higgins.
Yeah. Absolute wide receiver 1B for his team. And everybody wants to be like, oh, he's a solid 2. No, he is 1B. He gets as many touchdowns as Jahmyr, just doesn't get as many yards as Jahmyr. So let's call it what it is, and he's a fantasy genius.
Okay. Can't argue that with that.
As we head into round 5, Kevin and Brian, we're gonna give you guys a moment to take a breath because we have some other guys joining us here right now. And yelled at him earlier for being on auto draft at pick number 3, so we're gonna go ahead and bring him in. We have co-founder of that as well too. So we're gonna bring in Blaine with the Belly Sports co-founder to join us on the stream. Blaine, welcome aboard as you get ready to come up. How you feeling so far?
I'm just here. I don't feel really good. I apologize for auto pick. There was an emergency in the household, so I panicked. But it's been a good draft so far. I mean, that's the first time I think in all my years of playing fantasy football that I've actually drafted 3 wide receivers in the first 3 rounds. You guys aren't making it easy.
Well, you know what? You're up again. Do you continue the trend, or is there a running back out there that you like?
There isn't a running back that I like, but I feel like somebody's going to say I don't like that pick. I'm going to make it.
You know what? I dig it. There's a path there where I see that being very, very good. As we see Cab Scaboo going right afterwards to Brian. So I think there's a path for Travion Henderson. Down the stretch last year, he showed the ability to be explosive. So I think there's an option there. Somebody has to catch passes out of the backfield. It can't be Ramondre Stevenson all season.
Right.
Yeah. And as long as they learn how to use Travion Henderson this year, you have a great pick. Like that's the end of the day. Like they just need to use him correctly.
Absolutely. I want to ask you too. The over/under for Jared taking Eagles was set at 3.5. So far, we got 1 out of him. Do you think he cracks the 3.5, or do you think it's already in danger considering we've already had a couple off the board?
I mean, I in the later rounds, yeah, I think he could, but I'm going to go with the under on here.
All right, we got some unders. I'm surprised he didn't go out. He didn't take Smitty when he had the chance. And some of the other guys, as Jalen Waddle is off the board. As we move forward to, I kind of want to get your idea on this one, Blaine. How early? When's the earliest you would take a quarterback? When's the earliest you feel comfortable doing it?
To be honest with you, the 4th round is really when I start to look at it. I've done it in the first 2 rounds. I just think that in where we're at and in how many playmakers there are, you can afford to take it in the 6th or 7th round and still get a quarterback that lights up the scoreboard. So, you got an MVP still out there. There's just a ton of talent at the QB room. I mean, let's just be real and honest. Tua is not the talent, but there's going to be some people out there that are going to be TD makers. So.
Not gonna lie, I'm heartbroken because I took Josh Allen so I could pair him up with DJ Moore. So this is a little heartbreaking right now to see this happen right before me. And I no longer want to play anymore. I want to take my ball and go home. This draft is ruined, and I no longer want to participate. Everything I believed in is now dead. So I'm going to take my other guy, Bajal Tootin, because I think there's a good chance to break out. But I'm sad I'm not happy anymore. Blaine, we're going to kick you out of here because you said there's an emergency in the house. But real quickly, let us know who's your next pick so I make sure not to take him.
Oh, that's. I mean, are we doing that, or can we keep it a secret?
Well, you can keep it secret. I just wanted to see if you.
Yeah, be aware. You got like 4 guys waiting in the background.
I mean,
here
I got
that
20.
might.
I got 20 picks. I'm looking at Mike Evans.
Okay, you know that's fair. He might actually get to you if the substation allows it. But Blaine, thank you so much for popping in and joining us.
Thanks, guys.
Awesome. And now currently on the clock is Antonio with the Sideline Summit podcast, who's also going to join us here for his swing picks. Antonio, thank you so much for joining us here on DraftNet. How are we feeling so far?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. Thank you for having me. Thinking right here, definitely need to go with another running back because I went, in a way, 0 running back in the first couple rounds. So I'm going to take Jadarian Price. I really like the fact I like college backup running backs that still end up getting drafted because of how fresh their legs are. And I think, with Sharp, he's probably going to miss a little bit of time at the very least. I think Price having some of the freshest legs in the room could at least be a solid starting option. And then I definitely have to go tight end. And again, 2 guys like Laporta and Kraft, like they're both in such crowded offenses. But I think I'm going to lean Laporta, though. So I'll go Price and Laporta on those swing picks.
I will say Price is a good pick. Just be prepared for Holani or some random no-name running back to steal touchdowns from him just to spite you every other week. That is the Seahawks way. And, of course, I like Sam Laporta. I love that pick because their new offense coordinator is Drew Petzik, who the last time he was offensive coordinator, Trey McBride broke every tight end record possible. So I think Sam Laporta, if his back holds up, is going to get fed a bunch. So I like that pick a lot.
And you need to know, Antonio, I think you just made Kevin Wilson's day the moment you took Jadarian Price, because he has been preaching Jadarian Price all offseason as the option. So I think you just made his day.
Yeah, I mean, the guy's film, he his film was really good, even though there's not a lot of it. And of course, I'm the same, person who questionably said about JJ McCarthy a couple of years ago, where I'm not going to say I'm a JJ guy, but I was like, I think we're a little too harsh. I think limited passing film doesn't mean bad film, but then I never sat back and realized, well, why is there not a lot of passing film? But with Price, running backs is a little bit different. And yeah, I think he's going to be great. Even if it were to end up being a running back by committee thing in Seattle, he's clearly going to be the head honcho. And
yeah,
I mean, he's definitely going to get the most touches, if I had to say. So, yeah, I'm excited for that pick, honestly.
Absolutely. And he can get involved in the passing game, which I think is going to be key too. He is capable of catching the ball, which I think will be very useful. But I'm still kind of shook because Nate ruined my entire draft strategy by taking DJ Moore at that spot. So I'm just going to go ahead and take Roma Dunze because there's a lot of talk about Luther Burden, and rightfully so. I still think Roma Dunze, people forget, was receiver 4 before his foot had issues. So I feel good taking Roma Dunze and think he's going to burst as we see Jackson Dart go next. So my question to you, Antonio, is you took Jalen Hurts in round 4. Do you normally look for a quarterback a little bit earlier? Is that one you push down, or does it just have to be your guy? Yeah,
I kind of agree with Blaine. I kind of go once I start seeing other people take quarterback off the board. Obviously, Josh Allen in round 2 it's not a reach by any. Josh Allen's going to put up the most points ever. But then I see Lamar go off in round 3. I'm like, okay, at this swing pick, I need to make something happen. And Jalen Hurts is never a bad option in fantasy. He's going to put up 7, 8 plus touchdowns, 10, depending on how much Saquon Barkley or Devontae Smith is getting unironically tackled at the 1 yard line. So, yeah, Jalen Hurts has been actually my fantasy quarterback for, I think, since his second year as a starter, actually, and he hasn't let me down. I've never gotten bad fantasy quarterback play out of him. Typically, my worst years are actually going running backs in the first 2 rounds because I had a year where I got CMC and Henry. I'm like, oh, I'm going to kill stuff this year. And one was Henry's worst year ever as a starter. And I think CMC missed the season. So,
I know all about the CMC early plague. Don't worry. That's my bugaboo with fantasy. So I totally understand where you're coming from.
Absolutely. Well, Kelcey, you're on the clock, and how are we feeling right now? Did Blaine take Carnell Tate? Was that going to be your pick, or do you have something?
Yeah, he said he was taking Mike Evans. I was set up on Blaine taking Mike Evans, and so you know what? I just ruined my day, Blaine. No, honestly, this is one where I probably would take Kyle Pitts if I didn't already have a feature Falcons player here. Where most people are like, "Oh, get 2 players from the Falcons; it'll work out well for you." No. Quarterback issues in Falcons. That's just the Falcons specifically quarterback issues. So that's not happening. So yeah, I'm going to go ride the Jacksonville train and hope to goodness that Brian Thomas has a return to form, because this is like the stretch of all stretches for me. Where I don't love it, but I do believe in the Jacksonville offense this year. I do believe what we saw last year, back into last year from Trevor Lawrence, is going to parlay itself into this year. And we're going to see Brian Thomas come back and have a successful year as a receiver, because last year was just a step down. That's all it was.
I will say, if they want to trade for Mac Jones to play quarterback, they're not taking Brian Thomas in the first round after what he did with Mac Jones in 8 games for sure. But you're back on the clock, Kelcey, in a quick swing. Mike Evans and Jake Ferguson off the board. We got Jake Cavender, twin Ferguson, and Mike Evans off. Where are we going?
I still should take Kyle Pitts here. I just it's one of those, you probably should take him. But no, I'm not going to. So we're going RJ Harvey and just going to get one more running back in the pack. We're going to get 3 running backs, 2 receivers, receiver to go out of this. And we're going to have fun with this.
Well, Kyle Pitts won't be plaguing you the rest of the way as we're coming up as he's now off the board, followed closely by Justin Herbert. So, Antonio, the bet we have going with every draft is over-under on Eagles players. We set it at 3.5. So far, he's a little bit behind at only 1. Do you think he has a chance to get the over, or is he kind of stuck with the under after Jalen and Saquon already gone?
What was the number one more time?
3.5.
3. I mean, Goddard's still on the board. And that's, I don't think I'm going to, I drafted Laporta already. I'm not going to have the chance to even take him. You'll have
the kickers, defense.
Yeah, I could definitely see him taking the defense. So that would be 2. And then Goddard could be 3. You could see him maybe reaching for Lemon after his stock dropped a little bit with that hamstring injury, even though I've heard he's actually going to be coming back tomorrow for the joint practice with the Patriots. So I'm super excited how he responds to that, even if Gonzalez is still holding out. I think there's a shot. There might be a shot there. Yeah, if he goes defense, Goddard, and Lemon, there's a real chance that he hits that over.
Well, we're not going to see it here as he auto drafts into Christian Watson, but I think there is a chance. I think you getting Jalen Hurts might have thrown a wrench in it, but we'll see. There is a chance as when we have 2 Eagles fans fighting it out with this. So I think this will be great.
I think his clincher is going to be, if he clinches it, it's going to be Eli Stowers in the last round. He's going to go draft Eli Stowers just to get his full pick. For Eagles is where I see this going.
I'm a Stowers guy. I think he's going to be awesome. I think he's going to catch a handful of those touchdowns from Jalen Hurts this year in the red zone. Maybe some RPO action, some fake quarterback run action flick at the Stowers. I think he's going to be great. Antonio, you're the designated Eagles guy. Am I false for liking Stowers, or is it still going to be Goddard for a couple of years?
No, Stowers is like a very talented pass catcher. Like, there's no doubt about that. That's exactly why he was drafted. He has a long way to go as a blocking tight end for sure. In the preseason game, I honestly thought he did a pretty good job even just getting involved. He looks like he wanted to be there and try to block. But it's just a work in progress. He might be behind Johnny Munt for the time being, so he might be tight end 3, but that's definitely something that can change over the course of the season. I would say this year would be like the Eagles have a tendency to draft a really good tight end, but they have to sit behind that guy for a year when it was Selleck to Ertz and then Ertz to Goddard. It could be something like that. Might take a year or 2. But I don't think taking him in the last round would be an absolute waste of a pick, just depending on how things go for the Eagles.
Absolutely. As my heart is once again broken, as Nate has once again been watching my short videos and took Marvin Harrison. He's just taking every player I made a video on. So I am giving up at this point ever to doing anything whatsoever. As my entire draft, I'm about to auto draft out of pure rage at this point because everything I had in mind is now gone. Right now, this would be a good spot for Jordan Tyson, but that hamstring being out for 2 months terrifies me. Michael Wilson terrifies me when Marvin Harrison is out there. It's kind of the weird part of the draft. Lemon would be fun, but we're going to take Michael Pittman as somebody I think is going to be a reliable, just underneath target for Aaron Rodgers. He's going to be like Keenan Allen, like 13 catches for 37 yards or something ridiculous. But Antonius, we're heading up onto your pick now. We do see you kind of got a lot of the boxes checked. You got receivers, running backs, quarterback, tight end. You do have a little bit of leeway here. I'm going to presume that you're not about to get your pick stolen by Mike. What are we kind of feeling at this point?
We're definitely going to fill out some of the flex positions there. I mean, it's not like whether it matters I go running back, receiver, running back. But at receiver, again, taking DK, it can be a little bit scary because Michael Pittman's now in that room. You never know what could happen with a potential Roman Wilson breakout. And Rodgers is like average depth of target is just getting lower and lower every year. So it doesn't exactly play in the DK's game. Again, Jordan, like you said, Jordan Tyson, the hamstring is super scary. Same thing with Mekhi Lemon. You have Alec Pierce, who puts up crazy numbers, but is he going to be the same when he comes back? And you definitely don't want to take Jordan Addison. I have Justin Jefferson. That'd be counterintuitive. So like Cortland Sutton would be like a pretty solid pick here. I thought he was very strong last year. Running back wise, I mean, you got like Chuba Hubbard's going to have his own backfield again. So that actually might be my pick here. I'm going to definitely get Chuba Hubbard with Dowdle out of the way. And then receiver wise, I mean, I wish somebody could just guarantee me that Travis Hunter would be like 100% be playing full-time receiver or full-time DB, but like a decent amount on the other side because he's so unbelievably talented. But it's just the way Jacksonville uses him. I can't guarantee that right now. I think I'm going to go Courtland Sutton. And I think because with Jalen Waddle being there, I can imagine that obviously things are going to be a lot easier for Bo Nix, but Courtland Sutton is like a low-end wide receiver one guy seeing wide receiver one coverage. Now with Waddle there, can't double either of them. It's not necessarily ideal, and it gets Sutton back into what he really wants to do and run those intermediate routes. And Waddle will do, the business stretch in the field along with I'm blanking on the name, but
Franklin.
Yes, thank you. Oh my goodness, I'm like this. Who's the other? I'm thinking of Tez Johnson. I'm like, no, the other small, undersized guy. Yeah, Troy Franklin. So yeah, I'm super excited for the Broncos. I obviously am worried about like one score regression. Like they won a lot. I think they won like 11 or 12 one-score games last year. So I'm a little bit scared of that. But they've done nothing but get better this offseason. So I mean, I don't know. I feel like I have to have the faith there. And Brandon Aubrey just went in the 8th round.
Hector, you got to answer for this. You got to answer for this tomfoolery, Kelcey. Like we need to start the war. Like what are we doing?
No, this is fine. This is fine. I'm fine. I know I'm
taking a page out of Kelcey's book here.
Okay. Well, look, we're going to talk about this in a second. But first of all, let me just say this, Antonio. Courtland Sutton finished with 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns. So I 100% would say like, yes.
You know what? Brian agrees. All I'm saying is Brian agrees.
Both of you, I don't care because you've been hating on me for taking kickers this early in the draft.
Last time I checked,
but let's talk about it. No, let's talk about it. Let's talk about kickers. Okay. A top 3 kicker last year finishes wide receiver 20 or better, meaning everybody we just talked about for wide receivers that have been drafted all the way back to DJ Moore finished below a kicker, a top 3 kicker last year. There are guys that were drafted in the first 4 rounds of this draft that finished below the top 3 best kickers in the league last year. And this is just standard single point PPR, full PPR, no extra points for kickers and distance. That's it. When you put extra points on kickers and distance, it becomes even better, giving Jason Myers finishing as wide receiver number 8 last year. 8 overall, meaning it's better than anybody drafted in the first 2, outside of the first 2 rounds, which is crazy. Drake London doesn't even hold a candle to Jason Myers as far as points going here. So I don't blame you for taking Brandon Aubrey. Honestly, it's a good pick. But I just had to get off my high horse about the kickers since we're going to talk about kickers in a second.
Well, you're about to be up, so I'm just going to let you go. You taking a kicker here? Are we backing that all up, or are we going elsewhere?
Oh yeah, we're taking kicker here. Absolutely. We're going with my backup kicker, which is why I say I have 2 kickers every year because I have my starter and I'm a backup kicker 10 out of 10 times.
You're going to be a Texans fan.
Well, hey, Jahmyr Fairbairn is the most accurate kicker we have seen in the last 20 years. So outside of Justin Tucker, it has been absolutely domination from Jahmyr Fairbairn. So yeah, feel pretty good about this one. He's finished a top 2 kicker for a long time.
By the way, joining us too is Hector from the Insert Name FC podcast and the reigning 2025 fantasy football champion, who is here to try and defend his title, maybe try and get the belt this year. As there will be a belt on the line. Hector, how do we feel about your draft so far, especially now that you got a kicker and you got Kelcey riled up for 5 consecutive picks?
Yeah, no, I feel like I'm doing good. I think I'm getting a good mixture of guys right now. I think from here on out, kind of similar with Antonio, just covering some flex positions before I start going to I mean, I usually rotate defense depending on matchups anyway, so it won't be like right now my top priority. Probably be something that I do like later on. But yeah, right now it's just filling the voids right now, and that is getting those skill position players and potentially ruin Kelcey's day even more so.
Well, you're doing a great job of it so far. The big question is over under on Eagles players for Jared is 3.5. He's only at 1 so far. We've seen Mekhi Lemon go. We've seen Hurts go. We see Saquon go. Is there a chance we hit the over with 3.5 Eagles players for Jared? Do you think he finds a way from a down to 3-1 deficit? Nope. Nobody thinks he can hit the over. Everyone's taking the under of the Eagles players. It might be too late. We might be cooked.
I'll believe in the over. I'll believe in the over still.
I said it early on. I still think it's the under. I'm not even going to make it a hard decision.
I'm going to be curious. That's for sure. I'm going to be curious to see if he doesn't. Kelcey, I want you to talk about the Isaiah Likely pick because you've been hammering about it. You've been waiting and hoping that nobody took him. You kept eluding the Kyle Pitts, but those of us who knew, they knew better. So Isaiah Likely was the move all along.
Yeah, no, he's okay. Go back to his days at the Ravens. He is the number one tight end when Mark Andrews was not on the field. He is the number one tight end for the Ravens, without a doubt. He was a top 5 wide receiver in those games, all 8 games. He gave you 10 touchdowns, which is insane for a tight end. And now he gets to go and have that offense again, that experience with Harbaugh again, with a Jackson Dart who gave Theo Johnson a name recognition banner last year. Like, why would I not take Isaiah Likely, who was a toe away from having 11 touchdowns last season, despite everything else? So I'm going to take Isaiah Likely as my big boom here because the other guys there, George Kittle injured, Travis Kelce is old. And honestly, I don't trust that offense right now in a lot of ways, but specifically in the way Travis Kelce is succeeding and giving me another 1,000-yard season, no. But Isaiah Likely doing something for Jackson Dart, I can believe that to be the case, especially with Malik Labors not on the field. So
I do also want to know we've seen 2 defenses go off the board already as well. So you know what, the kickers go early, and so did the defense as well. As Hector, you are now on the board. How are we feeling? How do you follow up Brandon Aubrey? Like you can't really follow that up.
Yeah, it is tricky. But you know what? I have a chance here. I'm just gonna go ahead and get him right now. I'm gonna take a hopefully a high reward here in getting Patrick Mahomes. Might as well.
I do want to point out the irony that him and Travis Kelce go back to back with an auto pick as well. But with Jaden Daniels as well, who do you think is going to end up being the main guy? Do you think it's going to be Patrick Mahomes by season end? Do you think Jaden Daniels will be your main quarterback by the end of it? Or do you plan on just rotating week by week?
I think it depends on matchup and also kind of how form goes. I think there's a lot of question marks with Patrick Mahomes just because of last season. I feel like Jaden Daniels, he just provides something else to his game, being that he's definitely a lot more on the mobile side. So it'll just be on matchups, really.
Absolutely.
Just don't expect any 5-yard increments from him.
Nothing, no 5s out of respect. But Antonio, you were on the board. You got the swing picks again. You got some interesting guys on the board. How are we feeling with these ones?
Yeah, definitely interesting guys. There's a running back that I'm definitely looking at that I know I can get for later, so I'm definitely going to hold off there. I'm probably going to go with a couple backup spots. I think I might end up ruining my own over-under because I'm really looking at Dallas Goedert here. But I think I'm gonna hold off. I think I might go. Well, it auto drafted, but I was definitely looking at Quentin Johnston anyway. Totally. But I'll probably go with. I'm just gonna take a backup quarterback for now. I'm just gonna take Lawrence. He's always been a guy who maybe doesn't have those high and like fantasy finishes, but he's capable of it. It's kind of like a Caleb Williams kind of deal where he doesn't have that proven MVP type of season, but he's definitely shown spurts that like if that were to happen for 17 games, he could be a top tier fantasy quarterback.
The guy who was top 5 in MVP voting last year, getting in the 10th at the start of the 11th round as your backup quarterback. Those are some very nice problems to have, that is for sure. But Antonio, we're going to go and give you a break here really quickly. So go ahead and let everybody know where they could find you, when your show is, and when they should check what you guys are up to right now.
Yeah, check us out on, every Tuesday morning, every Friday morning, Sideline Summit on all platforms, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. And that's pretty much where you can find us. On Tuesdays, we're pretty much on the Belly Up channel. And then on the Fridays, you can find us on our own YouTube channel. But
absolutely perfect.
No difference for the audio listeners. Yep.
Perfect. Thank you so much for joining us as well. We appreciate it. And I hope you don't take any of my players moving forward as well.
No promises, but I'll try not to.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining us. Yep. Cool, man. Cool. Perfect. As now, Kelcey, we are coming up on your pick, and we're going to have joining us here. We're going to have Brian Germanaro joining us too from Belly Up Fantasy Lab as well as 3rd and 10. Brian, lots changed and you were back on the clock. How are we feeling right now? Where are we looking? Don't take any of my guys. Your other co-host has ruined my draft already.
Oh, you ruined my draft too. I got to change my whole team name now because of him. But I was thinking Gainwell. But Baker Mayfield spoke glowingly about him today in practice. Last time he did that, it was for Puka. We saw that play last year. But I'm going to go with Jordan Mason here. I think the Vikings are going to do a 1A, 1B type situation as a depth piece. I think he could break off into a big way this year.
Absolutely. There's something with that offense. And we've seen Jordan Mason in limited action when CMC was broken make a lot of really big plays. And then, of course, he got hurt of himself. And then Shanahan decided to play with the rules and break off fantasy betting lines by taking him in when he's injured.
Yeah, pretty much.
We digress from there. But I kind of want to look at something over here that I noticed too. Let me go find it. Right here, we see Cameron Dicker going off in round 10. So, Kelcey, I want to ask you this one too, because normally you set the trend with kickers three rounds in advance, but it looks like as soon as the football guy Hector takes the kicker, everyone follows suit. So, are you mad that he's taking the shine here a little bit, or are you happy that just for the kicker group at this point, for the kicker brotherhood?
No, because this is a good rotation. Honestly, Brandon Aubrey being the first kicker is going to be kind of the trend every year. Right now, you can tell somebody else can prove they can kick deep kicks every time, and we do have points for long kicks, so that's why we do give more. Fairburn, obviously being number 2, has just been consistently number 2 for as long as it's been. And then Cameron Dicker has always been a guy that you're like 3, 4, 5 as your kickers. These make sense. Like Jason Myers, I can't expect him to have the same performance that he did last year. And then beyond that, you'd look at maybe Little from Jacksonville or a few guys like that where they're coming onto the market. They're going to be available, but are they going to continue to have that good trend? It's really weird with kickers because you do have to kind of look for that sweet spot between 5 and 15 in the offense ranking for a kicker to be good. So it does make things a little bit difficult. But yeah, I do like it nonetheless that we're seeing all of it right here.
And back-to-back tight ends too. Some very high upside, high athletic tight ends with Gatson, because there's a lot of mouths to feed there, but I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities for mouths to get fed in that offense. Are you kind of buying the same thing if everyone on the Chargers is going to eat?
Yeah, look, hey, if Mike McDaniel's offense looks like it's going to look and looks like how we expect it to look, then I feel really good about having Likely or Gadsden to rotate here. And I don't have to worry about a tight end no matter bye weeks. So that was kind of the big thing here is I can get a high bye week or high player on the tight end board. That's difference between him and my starter, not much, but potential boom for both of them. I don't hate it at all. So
I'm heartbroken to take Mark Andrews though, because I know that's the guy. But you know what? I
could have taken Mark Andrews, but honestly, I'm gonna give him a break for a season. I don't need to have him for this season.
Yeah, that means he's going to break out the season. You know the rules. Like this is where he has like a resurgence and looks like it's 2021 again. But we do see Stephon Diggs going off the board. He actually has a team this time as well, and Jason Myers. So the kicker renaissance continues as Kelcey. You are back on the board. Don't take a backup kicker. Please don't take a backup kicker. Thank you. Oh goodness, I was going to do it.
I'm going to take Maverick's father, Baker Mayfield. So if we all don't know by now, Baker Mayfield is one of my favorite backup quarterbacks to take. Just year after year continues to put up points, and everybody still looks at him like, he's like a 15 guy, even though he's finishing top 10 every year in fantasy rankings since he left Cleveland. So, well, since he got a starting job back, I shouldn't say since he left Cleveland, since he got a starting job back.
Exactly. And we do see Hunter Henry going to you next, Brian. So Hunter Henry's unique because in the same vein, he's in a high-powered offense. He should have a lot of red zone opportunities, but do you worry A.J. Brown's going to steal some of those, or do you think he's going to be just enough as your backup tight end since Brock Bowers is starting every single week he can?
Yeah, I mean, I worry a little bit because A.J. Brown's always going to break off some big plays and stuff, and you should be the first read in every single offense. But Hunter Henry throughout his career has always been a red zone threat. He's averaging like 8.8 yards per target last year. So even if he's just receiving, he should get decent chunks. And just as a backup, I think I buy the upside with him.
You need him to be good for 1 week at the entire season.
Exactly.
If he's not, the rest of the time, he just needs to exist, basically.
Week 13. That's it.
Every other time you take break. Your co-host Nate is on the board. Do you think he's going to spite me again? Like I somehow have 2 players.
Oh, probably. Yeah.
He probably take both of them. Do you think he's going to find a way to ruin my entire life even further after watching all the videos I've done?
Yeah, exactly. He just likes he plays chaos. He likes to ruin people's drafts. He's definitely going to take your guy right here.
Like he took DJ Moore knowing I was going to take him, and then he took Dalton Kincaid. You took 2 guys just to spite me because he knew exactly what I was going to do. So we're going to take the last Buffalo Bill possible in Khalil Shakir because he's just very consistently pretty decent. So Hector, you are on the board again. Hopefully I didn't ruin your pick. Hopefully I didn't pull a Nate on you.
You kind of did.
Not
really. No, you did.
I'll see. To be fair though, it looks like it's payback from the last round because I think you did take DJ's pick and Josh Downs.
I wasn't going to take Josh Downs. As much as we love Josh Downs, this is a fan account. I was not going to take him there. So luckily this time I didn't get shafted on both sides. I just got shafted in the front this time. Pause. But anyway, we do see Seattle go as well as Jared Goff is. We do see a tone on the twist. And I want to kind of ask you with this one, Hector, with Dallas Goedert, him and Colson Loveland had the same bye week. Did you notice that, or did you just kind of pick him and then I'm just being an asshole by pointing it out?
Yeah, I kind of just picked him and then you're just kind of being an asshole about it. But
yeah, but that was my bad. You know what? I'm the jerk here. But you know what? There's an opportunity for them both to play at the same time, get in the flex as well. So I'm kind of curious though too. How do you feel about your team as we look at it? What are the thoughts on it? You're good at running back, you're good at receiver, you're good at kicker, you're good at quarterback. What are the thoughts? Do we feel pretty good about it, or is there something else we're looking at right now as you're back on?
Yeah, I mean, I think my team is pretty solid. I don't think I have any too much concerns. Just hopefully, maybe just consistency and injuries will probably be the thing which always happens in the game. And now I got to figure out the tight end because both of them are going to be off the same day. So there's some interesting things to go. But I have noticed I don't have a homer pick in this list at all.
You could. I'll trade you Brandon Aubrey for Kyrie Fairbairn, and we could have a homer swap.
Wow. That's semantics right there. Yeah, no, it's interesting. I gotta at some point find a Texan, but I think right now I can't really do anything with that just yet. So I'm gonna keep going with my my process of just continuing keeping depth and take Aaron Jones from Minnesota.
You know what? I like that as well because when he is healthy, he is very dynamic and very outstanding. So I'm just going to follow the trend. We're going to take a kick. We're going to take Cam Little because I think he's going to get me points for those random 70-yard nukes. He's going to hit the few times they didn't score touchdowns. And like we mentioned, high-scoring offenses are good for kickers as well. So I'm going to feel pretty good about that one. And before we let you get out of here, Hector, I want you to give a quick shout-out to all the people where they could find you when you guys go live, when your show is up, and be sure to tell them about Summer of Soccer in case they missed it.
Oh, no, yeah, man. Summer of Soccer was awesome. Kelcey Coyne was obviously part of that mix as well as our great friend Nick Gable, who is a great writer here at Belly Up. But Insert Name FC, man, we mainly talk the other football, but as you can tell, we win here. We win here in the other football as well. But new episodes every Thursday. Actually, as a matter of fact, on Thursday's episode, Kelcey Coyne will be featured on that episode. So be on the lookout for that one. Just lots of great content, lots of fun discussions. We talked about Kelcey's favorite team in Liverpool. So a fun conversation, especially with a new investor that has joined in the mix for Liverpool, not named LeBron James.
That's exactly what they need. But thank you so much, Hector. We appreciate you for joining us. I hope you are not the back-to-back defending champions. That means I will not be the champion. But thank you so much for popping in with us.
All right, appreciate it, guys.
Perfect. And Kelcey, I'm going to kick you out as well for a little bit now because we are going to bring back in senior writer Kevin Wilson. Kevin, we've seen you just made your pick with Deebo Samuel. How do we feel about that? Are you worried the substation's going to get a hold of him?
Well, every other player seems has been injured on their team, and but Deebo Samuel's name has not shown up, as far as I know, in that scenario. So he's coming back, and we like to make, at least I do, all kinds of fun in San Francisco, but gotta like their offense if they're healthy, and so I like him going back there. So I was thinking about taking a kicker right there, but I thought, well, I'm a little light on wide receiver, so I like Deebo Samuel back in San Francisco, so that's why I decided to do that.
And Brian, you took a page out of Kevin's playbook, taking Sam Darnold here as your backup. How are we feeling about it? Do you think he's going to be able to? And you get to stack him up with Jackson Smith and Jigba on the good week. So how are we feeling about that?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I mean, I drafted Herbert. He's pretty much going to be the face of this team. I like his upside this year, but always with backup quarterbacks, I always aim for those like high floor guys, those guys that, may not be flashy, but are going to put up somewhere between 12 and 16 points every single week. Thought about Kyler in this spot, but I'm still I don't want to invest yet because we've seen the bad of Kyler. We don't know if that's going to be fixed in Minnesota. So give me the defending Super Bowl champion quarterback as I think a good floor.
It's very rare that you would see the defending Super Bowl champion quarterback go at 12.9 for sure.
That's the absolute disrespect that just won't stop with him.
Well, you know what? You could have taken him earlier, but you chose not to.
I could have.
Yeah. Do you have a quarterback actually? Did you take one? Okay.
I took Drake May. That's why, and he's got the bye week, same bye week as Sam Darnold. So that would not have made sense for me to do that right there.
Took the Super Bowl losing quarterback, but not the Super Bowl winning quarterback. Well, we're going to welcome back in Blaine with Belly Up Sports co-founder. Blaine, can you believe this blasphemy? He did not even take his team's quarterback. Would you ever pass on Jared Goff? You're muted, so we can't hear you.
Technology is hard for me. No, I mean, I would definitely, if he was there, I would take him. But I like Matthew Stafford. I've always liked Matthew Stafford. If he's available, I'm taking him. And usually, if I draft one Lion, I will take Jared Goff. And unfortunately, I do not have a single Lion in my crew because you guys all take him. You guys all took the good picks. So
You could have taken Bates right there. You had your chance. Like, he was right there.
I thought he was off the board already.
He was. I was just kind of screwing with you.
All
We
right.
could have taken the Lions defense, though.
Yeah,
There was opportunities.
that is very questionable for this year. So I'll stick with the Patriots.
No belief in Aiden Hutchinson. I see how it is. But on a scale of 1 to 10, give us a feel how your draft is. Has Kelcey taken? How many of your picks has Kelcey taken? Because he definitely said you took some of his. Have you taken some? Has he taken some of yours?
To be honest with you, I think we're just texting each other back and forth, fake texting each other back and forth at this point. I think it's always been the game plan. If me and Kelcey are next to each other in a fantasy football draft, we're taking opposite side picks or the same picks. It's always good to have that little friendship there.
The collusion disgusts me, but you know what? We'll go ahead and allow it. It's okay, but
I'm just trying to win the belt, to be honest.
There you go.
You and me both as well. And you know what? I'm actually on the board, so I got to make a pick. And we're going to take the Lions defense out of spite. We're going to take that out of just pure rage and spite at this point because I'm panicked. But I also want to give a quick shout out too for those of us that are in several fantasy leagues. Sometimes you have a tough time keeping track of it, and you also enjoy sports betting. Go ahead and check out Better Vision, a sponsor of Belly Up Fantasy Gaming and Fantasy Live. Better Vision is a free sports betting and fantasy account aggregator. Gives you a better view of all your sports interests, whether it's fantasy, betting. You could track all of it in one convenient place, as well as, maybe go a little bit of odds hunting as well. Glad to have them partnered up with us for this football season. Go ahead and check out Better Vision at the link in the description as well. So if you aren't already using it, now is a good time to get started. The best time was yesterday. The second best time is today, as we do have Hector on the clock. And as we get ready, we do have Hector back on the clock. And let me just ask you guys, on a scale of 1 to 10, out of everybody in this league, who's the person you want to least win the belt? I'll start with you, Blaine. Who's the one you want to least to end up winning this whole thing?
The returning champ. That's not even a question.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. We need new representation.
Brian, what about you? Who's the one you want?
I'm going
least?
with Nate. I would never hear the end of it on the podcast. Never hear the end of it.
That's a good solid pick right there. He would never be quiet about it, ever.
No, he wouldn't.
I kind of want him to win because then it proved that I was right since he took all of my players. So, partially I wanted to win from that case, but at the same time, because he took all my players, I'm not really a big fan of that. And for this final round, we're going to go ahead and bring everybody back in that is still with us. So we're also going to bring back in Kelcey as well as Antonio from Sideline Summit. So we got a full house with us today. So, Kelcey, who's the person you least want to see win the belt?
Yeah, I'm going to ride with what Brian said and go with my co-host and say DJ, because for the same reasons, we already know it would be insufferable if either one of us win the belt for the other person.
That's true. I would like to change my answer. I would no longer like Kelcey to win the belt. That is my answer. Antonio, how about you? Out of everybody in the league, who's the one you least want to see win the belt?
I think that's a pretty harsh one, but you know what? It might be equal crime. I'll say Jared.
You know what? That's fair. And you know what? That's actually a good point. I would like to amend my answer. I'd also like to pick Jared because I do not need to hear him screaming victory and chugging Busch Lights and smashing the cans on his head, getting stains all over. So you know what? That's a fair pick as well. Antonio, for the final pick, we do see you take Katron Allen. A lot of hype coming out of Penn State, a lot of high upside. I am a big Rashad White guy, so I hope he doesn't do well. Is that kind of just the last pick, or how are we feeling with that one? Is that just kind of a what the heck pick?
It's a little bit of both, right? Katron had his best year at Penn State last year after I know it was always a 1A, 1B thing with him and Nick Singleton, but I was always a firm believer that Katron was better, and I still do believe that way. I thought last year really showed it, even if people stopped watching Penn State after they blew that lead to UCLA. But yeah, I think he's a guy I know Bill Krosky-Merritt had all that hype going into camp last year in the preseason, and a couple people might have dip their toes in the water on that one, but I think Katron kind of deserves relatively the same hype. I think he'll get a lot more action than people might think he will, especially later on in the year as things worn down. But I mean, he's last pick of the draft, Penn State guy. I figured I'd throw him a bone and pick him up on the squad.
I still stand by Bill Krosky-Merritt as an industry plant. I will be damned. He was forced in by the fantasy football community. There was absolutely no reason for it outside of the one Chargers game. He should not have been a conversation. Do see kickers starting to round it out. Blaine, what are we going here? You already got your kicker, your defense. How do you want to round this out?
I mean, I looked at Kamara's name as being on here, and I'm like, I can't believe nobody's even touched him. But I realized how bad he was last year. But I think there might be some opportunity with this gentleman here. Jaden Higgins, as long as
I
he's healthy.
do like Jaden Higgins. That is a very good pick. Kelcey, where are you going to go from here?
I need to pick a defense because you have to have one, right? But man, I really don't want to.
Don't do it.
All right, good. Thank you. That's all the confirmation I needed to not do it. So I did that.
Jonah Coleman's a very, very nice pick. That way, him or RJ Harvey, as long as J.K. Dobbins isn't healthy for 16 games, you're good to go. You're getting something from that Denver backfield.
Something's going to happen. And yeah, just please don't let it go to the wrong guy. If J.K. Dobbins comes out and goes gangbuster, then I'll find my defense because I got to drop a Bronco, I guess.
Hey, that's a good problem to have as we wait for Matt to round it out. So we all have had our chance. We've seen all of our picks now. The draft, Fernando Mendoza, a perfect way to end it. We're going to go down the line. I want you to grade your team. A minus, B, however you want to grade it. Grade on a curve you like. Kelcey, you're the first one on the board. How do you feel about yours?
I feel like it's an A, but I'm going to be mean to myself and say it's a B minus.
All right, I like it. A harsh curve, I see it as. Brian, how do you feel? What grade do you want to give yourself?
I'll give myself a B. I like the quarterbacks. Running back scares me a little bit, but I think the wide receivers and tight ends will make up for it. So a balanced roster, but some question marks.
Yep, that's fair. Kevin, how do you feel? You giving yourself an A, or are we going to go in the
B? I'm pretty harsh grader on myself, so I'm going to go with a B. And I like the tight ends that I picked up. And so if Kraft is having an issue, I like Strange a lot. And I like the running backs. If McCaffrey can if he goes down, then the whole draft goes right down the toilet. So the whole draft is dependent upon what he does or doesn't do. And if this had been one more round, I would have picked up Charbonnet just because I think he's going to be big down the stretch. So I didn't do that. So I'm going to downgrade myself for that. But I think I got a nice mix of players at positions. And so we'll just see how it goes going forward.
Well, if CMC ever ends up questionable, that Kevin and a host of others are going to go to that substation and burn it to the ground to get rid of it.
You got that right.
Blaine, how do you feel about yours? What are we going to give your grade? You started off with Jahmyr Chase, and then actually was pretty good out stop. A lot of receivers, very unlike you.
Yeah, that is not my typical MO. It's usually running back, wide receiver, running back. I never deter from that game plan. But 4 number 1 wide receivers, and then I made some questionable calls with the tandem with Chicago. So I don't feel very confident in my running back room. And then I made longevity with Mark Andrews, but it's questionable on how his performance is going to be this year. And then Kyle Pitts is boom or bust. So hopefully it is not Tua throwing to him. But then again, his preseason game, he caught a lot of passes, so it is what it is. But I feel pretty confident with Bo Nix and Matthew Stafford because they're both electric. So yep. I'm a pretty harsh critic. I can't give myself an A, B, or C. I would like to. Well, I'll give myself a C minus. That way I have room for improvement. Because last time I graded myself, I went like 2 and 13. So I will. I'll start low and hope for high.
Well, hopefully you start low, and I hope it goes lower, just because I don't need you competing with my belts. But Antonio, how do you feel about yours? Having the final pick in the first round and the swing, how would you grade yours?
Yeah, I would say about a B minus. I'm proud of my team. Definitely went heavy on the receiver aspect of things. Even the worst receiver on my team, Quentin Johnson, he's caught 8 touchdowns in each of the last 2 seasons, and I don't see why that would slow down. Usually, you get better the more you're in the league, at least when your athleticism is still with you. But yeah, overall, very happy with the team. Got the quarterback that I knew I was going to draft at some point. And I mean, CeeDee Lamb and Justin Jefferson, just by law of averages, I feel like they should definitely bounce back into what they're usually at, with 1,500 yard years and however many touchdowns that they can snag up. Obviously, Lamb has no questions about his quarterback play. As long as Dak is healthy, he's going to put up numbers. And Justin Jefferson, again, I'm already a big Kyler Murray guy, so I think as much as he's due for a bounce back year, I think Justin Jefferson is also due for that. So those are kind of the 2 staples of my team, and yeah, I'm banking on a couple. I'm banking on a Jadarian Price to have a really strong rookie season, which I think he's capable of.
I give you a touchdown for that pick alone.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's gonna be great. And then of course I need Sam Laporta to not get lost in that Lions offense, which I don't really have too many worries about. Obviously, Gibbs is gonna be the main guy, but talking about receptions, I mean, J-Mo doesn't exactly take too many receptions off the table because he's just such a threat downfield. That's where he makes his money. And then it's up to him and Amon-Ra to really start to eat away at the defense on the underneath and in the middle of the field. So I'll say a B-. I like the team we put together tonight.
It's crazy. You got two of the last 5 receiver ones. You got 2 of them at the back end of the first round, and it wasn't really that long ago with Jefferson receiver 1 in 22 and CeeDee Lamb in 23. So it wasn't even that long ago. They were both the highest scoring receivers in the league too. But it's amazing what a 9 can do to you. Thanks JJ McCarthy as well as an injury. But I believe in the Kyler Murray bounce back as well. If Nate didn't exist, if he just disappeared off the earth for the last hour and 6 minutes, I would have given myself an A. But because of Nate's existence, I'm going to give myself a C+. There was a lot that I liked there, but Nate ruined the good parts of it. But
once again, sure you don't want to amend your answer one more time to being Nate being the champion?
Yeah, really. There's plenty of room on this bus over here. I'm driving it, but
well, if he ends up winning, then then all my picks would have been correct. So like what I was saying was correct. He just got to reap the benefits of it. But okay. I want to say thank you guys for joining me today, as well as thank all of you for joining us for this Belly Up Network live fantasy draft. We have Antonio from the Sideline Summit, Brian from the 3rd and 10 podcast, Kevin Wilson from Belly Up Fantasy Live and senior writer, Blaine, co-founder of Belly Up Sports, and my co-host at High Low Sports, Kelcey, all joining me live today, and Hector from Insert Name FC, who you saw earlier. Shout out to our sponsors, Trophy Smack and Better Vision. Check the links in the description. We appreciate y'all so much. Let us know down below who had the best draft and who had the worst draft and why we're all mad at Nate right now. We appreciate y'all for joining us, and we'll see you all again next time.